my channel. Today I wanted to share with you some more Poor Man meals. I absolutely love doing this series with you guys, so I hope that you guys enjoy it. I have 4 Poor Man meals ready to go in this video. I hope that you guys like it. Let's get started. Okay guys, I'm going to be making a poor man's egg and spaghetti soup. So these are the ingredients that I'm going to need for today's meal. I'm going to need some onions, a little bit of carrots. I just needed 1. You could shred it or you can chop it up like me. I need 8 ounces of spaghetti noodles, 5 eggs, and I'm going to need about 8 to 10 cups of water, some Parmesan cheese. I have this out. My husband actually just ran to the store for me so I can have some real Parmesan cheese. So I'm going to need about a cup of shredded Parmesan cheese, and then a whole onion, some parsley, and then also I'm going to need about a 1/4 cup of butter. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put in my 1/4 cup of butter. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my carrots, and we're going to saute up these vegetables, also my onion. Sorry, I sound a little bit weird today. I'm just kind of recovering from a cold that I had over the last couple days. Alright, I'm going to just let these vegetables get nice and tender. Alright, while my pot is cooking with my vegetables, I'm going to go ahead and beat my 5 eggs. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and just set that to the side. Okay, I would say that this is done and my vegetables are nice and soft. I'm going to go ahead and add in 8 cups of water. I'm going to add in just a little bit of salt. The recipe calls for about a teaspoon of salt. And then I'm just going to let this come to a boil. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take my pasta. I'm actually going to break this in thirds and put it in here. You want to make sure that you put in your pasta while it's boiling. I have about 8 ounces of pasta that I'm adding. And I'm going to just cook those for about 10 minutes until they get nice and soft and al dente. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add in our beaten eggs. And I'm just going to stir that, get that nicely even and stirred through. And it's thickening up really, really nicely. I'm also going to add in 1 tablespoon of parsley. Very, very generous amount. Alright, there we go. And then this is completely done, and all I'm going to do is add in some cheese. Okay, and then I'm going to add in 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. Give this a good stir. Alright, there we go. And here is our super, super delicious, I'm going to call it like a spaghetti egg drop soup because that's what it reminds me of. And then you can add some salt and pepper for flavoring, of course. This is it. Let's give it a try. Okay, here's what our soup is looking like. Looks so, so good. I'm going to give it a test and see what it needs. Okay, this just needs just a little bit of pepper. And this is seriously so good. I really do enjoy this meal. It's super good. Oh. Today's Poor Man meal is just going to be a hamburger hash. I'm going to need half an onion, a whole pound of ground beef, or you guys can use turkey or sausage. I'm going to need some potatoes, and then I'm also going to need a can of corn. First thing I'm going to do is grab some olive oil, and I'm going to generously put that all over my skillet. I'm going to take our potatoes, and we're going to fry these up first. Okay, I'm going to season these potatoes always for poor man meals. I'm not adding a lot of stuff, so I always want to make sure that I'm flavoring this as the most that I possibly can. So it definitely needs a lot of seasoning salt. Y'all know I love to use paprika, so I'm just going to sprinkle some paprika over everything. And then also some pepper. I'm going to give this a good stir. And then I'm just going to cover this with a lid. I want to let this cook for about 15 minutes. I'm just going to make sure these potatoes get nice and soft. While my potatoes are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and cook up my ground beef. I'm just going to put it in this pan. Then I'm also going to put in my diced onion. So I have half an onion that I diced up. I'm going to cook that with the hamburger beef. Okay, so everything should be done cooking now. This has been going for about 15 minutes. All the potatoes seem nice and soft. Now I'm going to go ahead and add in our ground beef. So here's our ground beef and onion mixture. And I'm also going to add in some corn. I don't know if I have room, so let's kind of just add a little bit at a time. This is the biggest pan I have. I could have done a Dutch oven though. That might have been better. But this is going to make quite a bit. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add in the rest of this corn. There we go. And then I'm just going to let that corn just get warm just for another couple minutes, and then we'll have dinner on the table ready to go. Okay, here is our meal today. Guys, this looks so good. I just topped it with just like a little bit of cheese. You could also top it with some sour cream. That would be really good, or even like some salsa. Super, super delicious. Up next is this delicious looking Italian cheesy pasta, which is made with some rotini noodles and some beef, or you guys can do sausage. To start us off, we're going to need about 8 ounces of rotini noodles. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that in now and let this get to al dente. So I have my 1 pound of ground beef I'm going to go ahead and add to the bottom of this Dutch oven. I'm also going to go ahead and add 1 onion. Okay, just going to round this up together, make sure those onions are nice and cooked through. I went ahead and drained all of my meat and my onions, and so I'm just going to put in a half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. And then I'm also going to put in this big old thing of ragu sauce. Okay, my 24 ounce of pasta sauce. And then I'm also going to add just a little bit of water. That way I get all the pasta sauce. Okay, give this a little mixaroo. I'm also going to add about a tablespoon of garlic. Giving that a stir. I also have 1 cup of beef broth. Okay, and then I'm just going to let that simmer for just a couple minutes. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add half a cup of heavy whipping cream. You guys can add heavy whipping cream or half and half. Just something to give it a little bit of a creaminess. And then I'm going to go ahead and toss in our noodles. Give this a stir and we'll be ready to eat. And here is our dinner. It's looking super, super delicious. I just topped it with some cheese on top. Y'all, this is looking absolutely amazing. Okay, we're going to throw our 1 pound of sausage into the pot. If you guys have any onions or garlic that you want to add to this dish, that's going to be even more flavorful for you guys. I love using sausage because it is already super flavorful. At least breakfast sausage is. Some people like to cook with Italian sausage. I don't know. I just love the breakfast sausage. I think it adds such a beautiful flavor. And usually the Italian sausage is a little bit more on the spicy side. But I'm so glad to be getting these. They're so cheap. Honestly, you guys, when do you ever see meat for 58 cents? It's just crazy. You stock up when you see those prices. And when you see those deals. So I'm just going to go ahead and ground this up until it's nice and cooked through properly. Okay, now I'm just going to scoot everything off to the side, and I'm going to get all the excess grease off. Which really isn't a whole lot. Okay. I'm going to give this a little bit of a stir. I'm going to go ahead and put in 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. A half a teaspoon of salt. And then a half a teaspoon of pepper. We're going to put in our 2 cups of elbow macaroni. We have our half a cup of milk, and then we have 2.5 cups of water. Also, we have our can of diced tomatoes that we're going to put in. I definitely would suggest putting in petite tomatoes, but I do not have any currently. Okay, we're just going to give this a stir, and we're going to let all of this thicken up, get those noodles nice and al dente. So I'm just going to let this cook for about 15 minutes. Okay, so it's been cooking for about 15 minutes. I'm just going to sprinkle in some cheese. It says to use 2 cups, but I'm going to kind of use sparingly just because I want there to be enough cheese for our wraps that we're going to make. So I'm just going to stir this together and see where we're at. Definitely using like a block of cheese and shredding it up yourself is going to be better for stuff like this. It's just going to melt easier, but it's still going to work for us. And you know what? This is actually looking really cheesy already. This is looking super, super good. So we're going to do a taste test and see if we need any more cheese. But I might just sprinkle a little bit on each bowl and call it good. Okay, this is what it's looking like. You guys, this is so stinking good. And I went ahead and plated everything up. This is going to make at least 6 servings. It might make more like 7. But yeah, then you can always kind of double the noodle amount and add in more liquids. Or you can just make sure that there's not as much sausage, because I definitely think you could double up on the noodles per sausage ratio, and this would even go even further. So this is such a very good budget meal. Woo. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this content. I hope that you guys enjoy Poor Man Meals as much as I do. I loved everything that I made in this video. Sometimes Poor Man Meals can be kind of hard to make, or my family's kind of like about eating it. They liked everything that I made them, especially like that spaghetti egg drop soup. That was surprising even for me. And you know what? I'm even going to make that again, but I'm going to add some chicken to it because, man oh man, that was delicious. And maybe add in some celery, something like that. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all.